I'm going to show you a super easy way to correct your squat form or your hip hinge. So this is something that I see all the time. People are not doing properly, and so they're not getting the benefit out of the movement. So I work with people, especially in my low back pain program, all the time on a proper hip hinge, proper glute activation, and doing squats the correct way. Because all too often I see people just going up and down and using their leg muscles primarily and not isolating the glutes and not getting the proper form on the hip hinge. So this is something that, like I said, I coach people on absolutely constantly. So I thought it was worth showing on here in case anybody has the same issue. So if you find yourself squatting and doing more of this, where you're just lowering yourself up and down and basically your butt is going kind of straight up and down and you're doing a lot of bending of your knees, you're basically just using your quads. This is a quad dominant exercise, which is not what you want. You want to be isolating your glutes and you want to be getting a proper hip hinge where your hips are going all the way back. The upper body is staying nice and upright and your knees here are back. They're not going any further past your ankles. You can see that I'm not bending my knees. I'm just hinging back here. So I talk about this all the time, but it's very difficult to do it properly if you don't already have this down. So something that really helps, I just worked with somebody this morning on this, and it really, really can help, is learning how to correct that hinge in a way that gets your center of gravity way back in those hips, like really sticking your butt out, which sounds easy but isn't always easy. So if you're having a hard time doing that and you're finding yourself just doing this one, try this. Grab the side of a door here, the side of a doorway, and anchor yourself on there. Get your knees in proper position, knees over your ankles, and start to activate your glutes, but pulling yourself back away from there. So you're holding on with your hands, but you're basically leaning your butt back and really, really clenching up your glutes there and getting into a squat and then coming back up. That way you can actually feel the muscle memory, the proper form of getting your butt way, way back while keeping your chest up and your upper body upright and your knees properly lined up with your ankles. And then when you're ready to move off of the wall here, another thing that's going to help is having a counterbalance of your hands. So you'll often see me when I do squats, putting my hands out here because it counterbalances that, because you want all of your weight to be going straight back, like really accentuating the butt going back and the knees staying here, okay? So this is the proper way to do it. I'm super clenching up my glutes here. The weight is in my heels. You can see I can raise my toes up here and then squeezing all the way back up. It can even help to hold a light dumbbell here to really counterbalance yourself here. But try this in front of a mirror, try it in front of your camera, do whatever you need to make sure that you're getting that proper hip hinge. And if you need to, just anchor yourself onto something here and just play around with that. Just play around with how it feels to really get that butt all the way out there. And you know you're not gonna fall because you're anchored onto the doorway here. But it can really help if you're one of those people who just tends to squat like this with your legs, okay? So I hope that helps, and happy squatting.